For those following the Jussie Smollett story, the latest news, police seek to re-interview Jussie. So just a quick recap, because I'm sure most of us are already here. It's presumed he paid off 2 Nigerian brothers to stage the attack. The police know these dudes bought the clothesline, the rope they call it, and they believe the whole thing to be fake. So now Jussie Smollett has retained some lawyers. He is not being treated as a victim. But here's the main point of this video. There's your update. If you're not familiar with what happened with Jussie Smollett, check, read some other bigger sources, because we're going to be talking about the hypocritical reaction and the terrifying reaction from the left. There's an article from the Washington Post where they are desperately begging for this story to be true, for racist white supremacists to have attacked Jussie Smollett. They want it to be true. There are comments from various articles where people are saying, please, they hope so much that Jussie Smollett was actually attacked in a hate crime. You know why? Because the reality is fake hate crimes. Fake hate crimes. So let me show you this real quick. This right here is an op-ed from Act 4, Washington Post, Nana Efwa Mumford. And it says that she is an executive assistant to the Post's editorial board. Okay? I don't want to say an executive assistant is a powerful position, but, she works with the editorial board directly. And she writes this. Now, I don't want to read the majority of this. What I want to read for you is her conclusion. She says, if Smollett's story is found to be untrue, it will cause irreparable damage to the communities most affected. Smollett would be the first example skeptics cite when they say we should be dubious of victims who step forward to share their experiences of racist hate crimes and sexual violence. The incident would be touted as proof that there is a leftist conspiracy to cast Trump supporters as violent, murderous racists. It would be the very embodiment of, quote, fake news. And that reason, more than any other, is why I need this story to be true, despite its ugliness and despite what it would say about the danger of the world I live in. The damage done would be too deep and long-lasting. This could be one tragedy that the Lyon family, and more importantly, the ordinary people who loved the show and invested in Smollett and his character, could never overcome. Holy shit. Let me try that again. And that reason, more than any other, is why I need this story to be true. The damage done would be too deep and too long-lasting. Are you insane? The damage of living in a world where white supremacists go around at 2 a.m. dousing chemicals on people for their sexuality and for the color of their skin is a much more terrifying reality than some dude perpetrated a publicity stunt. This is insanity. This article is pure psychosis. Now let's talk about leftist conspiracies. Is there a leftist conspiracy to paint Trump supporters as racist, violent? Well, look, it depends on the scale you're looking at. Are there a small group of individuals who have engaged in a conspiracy? Apparently, Jussie Smollett, according to the police and local reporting, it was a conspiracy between him and the 2 brothers to engage in a hoax hate crime to falsely claim. So how does she describe it? She says there's a leftist conspiracy to cast Trump supporters as violent, murderous racists. Okay, well, this would be proof of that, wouldn't it? Now, when I say conspiracy, I'm not talking about like there's a cabal of thousands of left-wing individuals with a hierarchy where they're twirling their mustache going, and now we will paint them as villains. No, that's ridiculous. But in this instance, Jussie Smollett and these 2 guys did conspire to make Trump supporters seem like murderous racists. But hold on one second. Hold on just a gosh darn minute. What's this? FakeHateCrimes.org. Now, admittedly, FakeHateCrimes.org is down right now. I don't know why. Maybe they're getting the hug of death because everyone's blowing this website up. It's a list of 349 fake hate crimes, proven fake. And that's the big issue, right? How many were not proven? Now, this is a cached version. We can see that Jussie Smollett is the most recent, and there's, Jussie Smollett stories are actually, so I'll clarify too. It says 349, but Smollett appears a couple times, and there's probably a similar thing where they show the news stories and updates. But we have this guy, the black college lacrosse player, 21, is arrested for racist N-word and swastika graffiti targeting him. Black guy spray paints racist stuff and swastikas. Like, you want to talk about a conspiracy? I don't think it's a conspiracy. It's a culture of insanity. Sociopaths. These people are insane. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many times do you think the alt-right hired Antifa to go and beat them? When Richard Spencer got punched in the face in DC, do you think that he hired the guy to do it? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that came out to be the case, but there's no evidence of that because these people advocate for punching other people. But think about what happened following that. Richard Spencer was I think he was the #1 worldwide trend after he got punched. Remixes were going viral. He gained something like 20 or 30,000 followers. It made him one of the most relevant people, potentially the most relevant person in the world for that brief moment. There is power in being attacked in this way. And so, again, I'm not saying he staged it. The point I'm trying to make is look at all of these instances where people have attacked themselves or hoaxed other people to try and make it seem like they were victims because they get press because of it. It is a publicity stunt no matter how small of an individual you are. But let's move on to the next little iteration of absolute hypocrisy. Well, Mr. Cory Booker is withholding judgment on Smollett case after calling it attempted modern-day lynching. Yes, Cory Booker tweeted out almost immediately that this is a modern-day lynching and that you need to pass this federal bill. Unfortunately for him, it turned out this is likely a hoax. So what does he say now? Well, I'm not going to play the interview, but in an interview he says, I'm withholding judgment until the facts come out. But why? You weren't willing to withhold judgment before. When someone makes an accusation, we wait until there's proof of it. Now, look, I feel for the victims. That's why I said initially, if he was a victim, let's bring these people to justice. But hold on, let's wait for evidence, right? But Cory Booker is obviously on one side of this. So I don't necessarily blame him. I understand he's on one side of the issue, plain and simple. So now that his worldview is being threatened and his politics are being threatened, he's going to take this stance. We then have Ava DuVernay, civil rights activists, react to new turns in Jussie Smollett case. Once again, she says this. Despite the inconsistencies, I can't blindly believe Chicago PD, the department that covered up shooting Laquan McDonald over a dozen times, that operated an off-site torture facility. That one, I'll wait. Whatever the outcome, this won't stop me from believing others. It can't. Now, she makes a really good point. She does. And I'm going to give it to her. But I am gonna say, listen, just because you distrust them doesn't mean, like, come on, man. At a certain point, it's possible the Nigerian brothers were put under pressure. I just really doubt it, man. The story is insane from the get-go. Do I trust CPD? I'll say it straight up. I'm from Chicago. Hell no. I agree. They've done a bunch of really bad things, but hold on a second. These things individually do not discredit anything happening now. Chicago PD is a massive police force. Chicago, the Chicagoland area has like 10, 12 million people. Chicago proper, I think, has close to 3 million. It is a massive department. They have done tons of really fucked up shit. Straight up, I'm willing to swear when I talk about Chicago PD. I'm from Chicago, man. But hold on. That doesn't mean anything about this particular instance. If you have evidence to suggest otherwise, I think it's fair to say I'm going to cast some doubt. But at the same time, come on, man. Jussie Smollett lawyered up. You know, the story was ridiculous from the get-go. So what do we see here? I kind of went in a reverse order. Ava DuVernay, I think these points she's making are fair, but don't immediately discredit the police, okay? I think the police are ripe for criticism, and I have criticized Chicago PD in many a video, talking about how they've kicked my door in, how I've been pulled over at gunpoint and things like that. So fair point, but I'm still leaning towards the police. Cory Booker, clearly a tribal bias. Look, you can't come out and say, see everybody and wave your finger around, and then when it turns out your guy was wrong, say, whoa, hold on, I'm going to wait for this. But then it goes all the way back to, dear God, I hope it's true. They really, really desperately want hate crimes to be real, and that terrifies me. But look at this mentality, okay? The mentality of, and this is why I need it to be true, and you will understand exactly why people are faking hate crimes. Let's try this again, okay? To make sure it's absolutely clear to anybody who doesn't understand. This is an op-ed from a woman saying, I need this story to be true, despite its ugliness, despite what it would say. They need the narrative to be true. 349 stories of hoax hate crimes. You want to talk about why people are faking these? Because they need the narrative to be true, and there isn't evidence of it. Sure, there are some fringe stories about psychopaths doing crazy things. How many stories do we have of people attacking kids wearing MAGA hats? We have a story just today. Man pulls gun on man wearing MAGA hat. We're telling him it's a good day for you to die. So I'll tell you what, you want the narrative to be true? When these stories are real and people are getting arrested, this is what they resort to. Anyway, I'm going to stop here because I don't want to go on too long, but stick around. I'll have another video up at 1 p.m. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you then.